And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, we may be a day late, but we are never $1 short here at the Weighing In podcast because Josh Thompson and I have gotten our asses back to where they're supposed to be from places far away. Barely. With the airlines love us. They torture us. But we're here for the Weighing In podcast, and we got all kinds of things to talk about. Eagle FC, Bellator, MMA, and all the great things that are happening in the world of combat sports. What is up, my man? You're looking a little tired.
I was really frustrated last night. I got to tell you, man, you could probably hear it through text how mad I was. I have to fly from Arizona to San Jose, and I have 3 airports, mind you, that are by me. I can fly to San Jose, San Francisco, or Oakland, all within, 30, 40 minutes of my house. San Jose is like 7 minutes away. It's perfect. So the airport. I have to fly into LAX. There's no straight flights.
Yeah, this is to Phoenix. It's not like Phoenix is a small city or a small airport.
It's an hour and 15 minutes away or something like that on a plane. I have to fly into LA, which is an hour flight. Not even that. It's like 50 minutes or something. John, I am so mad. I'm sitting in the Delta Club just waiting. I'm just waiting for my fucking flight to go. And I get down there like I always do, about 15 minutes before the flight. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show up. I kind of show up late because I kind of sit towards
what words did you just say?
That wasn't late. I always show up towards. I know. But I wasn't late though. I wasn't late. I was 15 minutes before my flight was supposed to take off.
Okay.
So I show up 15 minutes before because I like to board last, or close to the last because then I sit more towards the front of the plane. I'm like, I don't want to go through everybody.
And you're a celebrity. I mean, that's what celebrities do, right?
I don't know if that's what they do. I wouldn't know. I don't know any fucking celebrities. Close celebrity I know is fucking Podcast Dave.
There you go.
So. I normally board last. I kid you not. I'm just sitting in the Delta Club waiting for my flight to go. I walk down 15 minutes before, and the guy's like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "Yeah, when are you going to start boarding?" And he's like, "Oh, I called your name." I'm like, "You called my name where?" I'm like, "How do you not?" I have a question. How do you not call out people's names in the club where like people are there? If you're in that club.
Well, how does he know you're there?
Well, if you're
doesn't know you're there.
He knows I've checked in. He knows I've checked in.
Yes.
And how do you? No. How are you not announcing that, regardless of whether it's me or anybody else? How are you not announcing that you're boarding the flight 15 minutes early and closing the doors 15 minutes early? How are you not announcing that in the club? Like these people are working places going. Even if it's not me, they're having to go to work. They're trying to get home on a Sunday to their fucking families, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to get home. And these motherfuckers are, and then the guy has the nerve to go, "Sir, don't talk to me that way." He's like, "You know what? I'm not going to let you talk to me this way." And I'm like, oh my gosh. I wanted to come unhinged. I was like, man, fuck. Anyways, I was really baffled by the fact that, because I have always had great things to say about Delta. Except for the COVID Delta, but the regular Delta Airlines is fine. Like it's been good. Like I've been flying with them for, I don't know, 5 years, something like that. Never had a problem with them really. Nothing, little small stuff. This though, how are you going to say that you're going to, and there's only like 1 or 2 gates in LAX that do this, John, where they shut the gate early because they have to drive you down on the tarmac to your plane.
Yeah, I've been on those gates many times.
I know
exactly where it is. And it's towards the very front, actually. As you come into LAX, they drive you all the way to the front of the thing because they've got the smaller planes, like, I don't know.
If you're not from that area or you don't, and there's only like 1 or 2 gates in the whole airport that do it.
Yeah.
And so like I'm supposed to know that you're going to, I'm at the gate that's going to shut down 15 minutes early and drive me out to my plane on the tarmac, and they're going to close the gate and you're going to be shitting. You're going to be sitting there.
You're going to be shitting yourself.
You're going to be shitting yourself. I was so mad. I was fucking livid because, we went through that process earlier in the day, rushing, trying to get to the airport, trying to catch the flights. I was like, son of a bitch. And then there's no flights out from LAX because they're all canceled, they're all delayed, or they're all full. Oh man, I was pissed. I almost rented a car and drove home. I mean, I was so mad. I was livid, man. I was livid. And the guy, his name was Timothy.
Timothy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And,
Timothy.
And he goes, I'm not gonna let you talk to me this way. And I was like, oh, oh man.
See, and there's those moments you go, I want to. I really want to.
I had to take a step back and go, you're definitely from LA, you fucking pansy. I was so mad. I was so mad. I'm not gonna let you talk to me this way. What the fuck? Anyways,
the best is, I did the same thing, and I ended up flying to a city way far away from where I wanted to be, and then I go and I get to my gate, and I'm watching the football game on my phone. It's right near the end of the Ram and Niner game, so I'm trying to watch it, and then it's delayed, right? And I'm like, are you shit? All right, well, good. It gives me I can watch the game, and then finally, my flight takes off an hour late, and I get into where I'm supposed to be. I'm home, and I sit on the tarmac at 12:30 at night. Now it's 12:30 at night, and I sit at on the tarmac for 39 minutes because they have to clear another plane from a gate. It's like I got home at 2:30 something in the morning. I was like, man, it figures.
John, you got to be thinking there's a fucking traffic jam at the airport at fucking 12:30 at night.
There's nobody there.
You got to be kidding me! Like, how do you not move these things out of here? That's
yep. Gotta love it.
Yeah,
that's the joy of travel.
Yeah, I just
let's talk about the good things in life. Fighting.
Let's do it.
Like you should have done to Timothy.
Jeez, I should have whooped his ass. He was kind of tall though. I would have to jump and swing up to probably hit him in the knees. He was probably a good 6'4", 6'5", easily. You know me, I'm only like 5'6" or some shit. I don't know.
Well, we did have the Eagle Fighting Championship for the first time in the U.S. Khabib brings his promotion over and puts on a show. I watched a couple of fights. I wasn't able to watch all of them. I know you watched a couple of them. Weren't able to watch all of them. But let's talk about Sergey Kharitonov versus Tyrone Spong. What did you think?
Well, Sergey fought the textbook fight. I don't know why Tyrone Spong. I mean, like,
he's not big enough.
Tyrone Spong threw one body kick in the first round, like 20 seconds in.
And fuck that.
Fuck this. I'm done. I'm taking him down. I'm taking him down. He's like, I had a moment there where I thought I was going to like just go ahead and stand and knock him out.
I'll stand with you.
No. He's like, yeah, you're too fast. You kick too hard. He's like, no, thanks, man. Nuh-uh. The last thing you want is your big ass heavyweight who cuts weight probably to make heavyweight.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, Kharitonov.
We've watched
cuts
him.
weight to make. Yeah. So Tyrone Spong is a stud. We all know that. He's a great kickboxer. He just has nothing on the ground for Kharitonov. The size, the weight, and anytime, like I've said this before, anytime you get a heavyweight like that who has a little bit of sambo and control in the top position, the heavyweight on bottom is, and Tyrone Spong's not a heavyweight. He's a 205 pounder pretty much.
Yeah.
Just beefed up, another 15 pounds?
Yeah.
They're like turtles on their back. You know, I mean, they really are. They're flopping around with their legs kicking and, arms kicking in the air, but nothing's happening. And Kharitonov just putting the beat down on him. I'm like, yeah, it was kind of how I thought the fight should have went if Kharitonov fought smart and it went that way.
That's exactly it. Going into it, I go, Kharitonov is much slower than Spong. Big tough guy, man. He does, if it gets into a phone booth, he's dangerous because he's got great uppercuts and he's super strong and his hands are huge anyways. And it was like, but man, if Tyrone cannot, I don't know how big their cage is going to be. And then when I watched it, I go, Tyrone's in trouble. As soon as I turned it on and then they walked in, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, Tyrone's in trouble. He's never going to get away from Kharitonov once Kharitonov decides to. That's it. And he did. Took him down, beat him up. And it's, Spong, what do you expect? There's nothing for him to do. That's not his strength, to fight someone like that, especially on the ground. If it was a kickboxing match, Tyrone's going to win that match. Too fast, too explosive, but it went the way I thought it would once I saw it. It was good for Kharitonov. He's a great guy. Super good guy. Lots of kids. He needs them. He needs this, so it was good for him. But if you remember when Spong was talking about he wanted to be a boxing champion, a kickboxing champion, and MMA champion at the same time. That's why I always tell people you can't do those things because you can't dedicate enough time to be good at all of them. It's just impossible.
Yeah, just focus on one.
Yep.
That's it. Be the best at one, and then dispatch that, and then go to the next one if you need to. But make your priority one of them.
Did you see Rashad?
Yes, I did see Rashad.
Now, Rashad talked to you about coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's happy coming back now? Yeah,
I think he's happy that he came back. I think it was good for him to get that feeling and that rush. I don't know if he'll fight again.
Okay.
I don't think he should.
That was my whole question. Okay. You think he feels good? Now do you think he's going to fight again?
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, if you look back at towards the end of his career, right, he had a lot of bad losses. But he's also not fighting the guys that, Checo's not that type of fighter. Don't get me wrong. He has a little bit of power, a little bit of, he mixed up. So he almost caught Rashad with a head kick.
Yeah, he's a good hammer
off the head. Yeah, he's someone like you said, exactly like you said. He's a good hammer, but when he becomes a nail, he becomes a nail. He gets, he'll fold quickly. So he's tough. I mean, but Rashad used to be able to mix it up a little bit better and stuff. But I thought Rashad fought a good fight, being out that long, and then coming back. Look, when I talked to him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm in a good place in my life. I'm this and I'm like." I said, "I love it, man. I love the fact that you want to get back in there and do it." I don't know if he'll do it again, but he's like, "Yeah, don't you miss it?" And I was like, "Fuck no!" Like, I have no desire, none, not one shred of inkling in me wants to go through a training camp again. I'm like, fuck this. Yeah, just no way, man. And for him to do it, at his age, and I'm just like, you're a stud. I got a lot of respect for you, man. And you got the win. That's the other thing. It's one thing to go out there to talk about everything, but you actually have to get in the cage and produce. And he did. He fought a good fight, man. Good stuff, he did. Man.
I thought you could see a little bit timing was a little bit a problem for him because it was just the distance and gauging that distance and timing and stuff. That's just part of being in there at real speed and seeing things. But I thought he looked good after a while. I thought he was moving pretty well and he got the win. Way to go. I mean, it was a decision, but I thought he had moments where you could see the old Rashad. If this is what he wants to do and wants to fight again, great. I would love to see him go out with the win. Mm-hmm. He got the win, got that, feeling again, but we'll see what he does with it.
I mean, we'll see. Like, I wonder what these guys make, because this was not a cheap card.
No.
It was not a cheap card.
That's part of the reason you see Khabib saying he's going to go talk to Dana about promoting. It's like, he can't help you, dude.
No.
This is, this is the problem. You can, when you do a smaller promotion, and you get put into positions when you start signing guys like a Kevin Lee, and you're going to put, someone like that in there. And then you have fighters like, Spong and Karatanov. They're not cheap, especially heavyweights, and you're making that move kind of up. Well, there's a lot that comes with that move up. And, the expense gets to the point where it's hard for you to make money. And because you got to do all these other things with it, and they're putting it on, the app for free TV for people, which was great. But, all that comes with extra cost too, because there's the production that you got to pay for and all these things that come in, very tough when you're the guy actually footing the bill to do this, lose money. And because, look, he lost money, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that all that money comes out of Khabib's pocket. You and I know that he's got investors and stuff and guys that are from certain places.
Not 1 cent of that came out of his pocket.
Okay, exactly. But, he doesn't. It's like a loss, and you don't want that loss. You want, you want to be successful. You want to do it right, and you want to make those guys that are, backing you. You want to make them happy with the results of what's happening. So we'll see, how that goes. But yeah, this is expensive. This is not a cheap venture for him.
Yeah, I look at it a little bit like how Pride was, and like in terms of they had people that financially backed it.
Oh,
and
well, that's a different kind of.
Yeah. I guess you could call it like one. Also, it's like they have people that financially back it, even though it's losing money.
Oh yeah.
You know, but there's people that have a lot of money that just want to see what they want to see, and they're going to pay for it.
Well, they're using it in different
Yeah. They want to see what they want to see. Like the Pride version is like, no, we want to see Hungman Choi versus
that's different.
Hoist Gracie. Like they want to see those things, those spectacles. You know what I mean? And they'll pay for it. They'll pay. Like, hey, I own part of this promotion. You're going to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, good stuff. Anyways, look, overall, I'd be like, he's going to fight. I think Khabib understands it's not easy. Like you saw the promotion. They've got to do something about the cage. The cage is like a grayish color and it's not good. Like one used to do that, right? They have a gray canvas and I'm like, it's very depressing. Like there's no eye pop. Like you've got to, like when I flip it through the channels, it's got to be something that really catches your eye. You know what I mean? And they don't have that. They don't have that. So they got to make that change. I mean, I think that's like a lot of those promotions, like especially Russian promotions. They used to use all the white. You know, Pride had the white canvas and then the clear ropes or whatever it was, the cable ropes and stuff. And it was very eye popping, you know, to the person just viewing it. So a couple little tweaks, I think, in terms of their presentation, I think will help as well.
Yeah, it's the lighting.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, what you were telling me about De Castro, it's a guy who knocks everybody out and then goes out there and gets a submission.
Gets a submission. Gotta love it. Way to go, Jorgen. Nice job. But I was like, this is the guy that goes out. It's going to be a knockout or nothing. And nope, we're going to go.
As a promoter, you're just pulling your hair out going, I brought you on here for a knockout, not a submission. What are you doing? Shit.
A good win.
And then
Ray Borg got a good win. That was nice. Sean Bunch looked good.
Ray Borg. Let's talk about Ray Borg first.
Yeah, no, Ray Borg looked good. That was a really clean, good fight for him. Cody Gibson, tough dude. But Ray Borg looked good in that fight. And he needs to be happy with that win. That's getting him back on track and stuff, making him feel good about what he's doing. But he looked.
Where do I know Cody Gibson from?
He was in the UFC.
God, who did he fight? Dave, can you pull up who Cody Gibson fought?
Yes, I can. And I am.
Thank you. I mean, Ray Borg. John Dotson.
That wasn't UFC though.
No, that wasn't UFC.
UFC's down here.
XMMA.
So
way down.
Yeah. Oh, he fought Aljamain Sterling.
That was a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had a few fights.
2014. Jeez. He looks like a baby in his picture. Yeah, you guys got to update that picture. He can't look like that anymore.
He's tough. He's a good fighter, though. He's a tough dude.
Yeah. Ray Bork, I tip my hat to him, man. He's gone through a lot personally, and just
Yes.
To get in the cage and keep doing what you're doing to make some money, man. Congrats. Happy for you. Sean Bunch gets the win. Stick and move, wrestle. Stick and move, wrestle.
It's a great game plan for Sean. He should do it all the time.
Yeah, because these guys they're not as fast as him. Even Sean being 38 years old or whatever, however old he is. It's insane how fast he is. It's crazy. And he can wrestle like the Dickens, man.
He can.
He's a stud. So congrats to him, and I'm sure he'll be back on the Eagle FC cards and stuff. All right, well, that wraps it and concludes our Eagle FC coverage and talk over about it. But look, John, before we move on from that, where do you think Khabib goes now from here with this promotion? Does he stay in the States, keep trying to work it here, or does he?
I think look, when you open the door, you can't just let it slam back shut. You got to keep it going. Now, he doesn't have to come here a lot, but he's got to, he's got to have shows every now and then. Within the States, I'd say, 3-4 shows a year. That would be a good thing for him. Yeah, I know. But
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, why did you come here? Why did you come to North America? Well, there's a reason. And you can't let I did it and it's a one and done. Okay. But it's saying what's going to happen with, your promotion. And the whole point of his promotion is to get it bigger and bigger, and so we'll even talk about, Benson Henderson almost, he's out of his contract with Bellator. Maybe he'll go to Eagle. Who knows? But you got these guys who are now looking at you in that light that, hey, you're another option. And so if the door closes, it becomes different. You can look at ACB or now it's ACA. They were going all over. And they knew that for people to, look at them as a bigger promotion, they had to move and go to different countries a little bit. I'm not saying I thought they did it right, but they were more into, okay, we're here instead of putting butts in seats and things like that. But once they stopped, look at what happens. You kind of fall off the map, and so it's a tough one. Once you make that move, you got to continue with that move to keep things running in that direction, or it shuts on you fast.
Question: do you think Dana lets him do a show in Vegas?
Dana doesn't have a choice, really. If he wants to do it.
Who doesn't have a choice?
Dana doesn't have a choice if Khabib does a show in Vegas.
John, you know damn
I know
well.
what you're saying. Okay,
You know damn well
but-
Dana has a choice whether he has his show there or not.
There's yeah, I don't think there would be a problem with it. I don't think he looks at it that way. And if he wanted to, but again, you got to take a look at where is it expensive for you to put your promotion on, and where is it cheaper for you to put your promotion on? And Vegas would not be one of the.
You don't think it'd be one of the cheaper
places.
spots?
No. No, not with everything that is expected of you as a promoter. And then on top of it, I look at it where he went, not a bad option based upon you're looking at what's there. The problem with Vegas, the UFC can make it in Vegas, obviously, because, first off, when they do the Apex ones, doesn't matter. It's their spot, and they're not really, selling a lot of tickets to fans anyways.
Yeah, like maybe 100 or 200,
Yeah.
right?
And, most of those are giveaways to people that are,
With the fighters.
doing stuff with. Yep. But Vegas is one of those places where there's so much to do for everyone. So it's not like it's, hey, this is something that's new that we can go and see and things like that. Vegas has got it all. And so it's hard to get people's attention if you're Eagle Fighting Championship and you're not going to put any butts in the seats, and that's not a good thing for you as a promoter. So like going to smaller, venues and places that don't have a lot of options for people as far as entertainment, that's a smart way of being a promoter and getting people to come out to see your show.
True. All right, well, let's move on. Bellator 273, Bader versus Moldavsky. John, it lived up to the hype, man. I was actually surprised.
It was a very good fight. It was a good fight.
It was
And
a fantastic fight for
two
two
guys-
heavyweights, smaller heavyweights.
Yeah, but that's the whole
hybrid
key.
style. That's the key. I think that really believe that's what's going to make them a lot more excited. I think Moldavsky's definitely going to be back. I think he'll probably end up winning the title, eventually. That hybrid style of heavyweight, Bellator doesn't have a lot of top level heavyweights. And the UFC is struggling too with the heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is.
That's
Heavyweights are
heavyweight.
few and far between because
There's
they're all
the-
playing football and basketball
there you go.
and all the other
all
sports that
all
make
the
a ton
different
of money.
options for them as far as sports and stuff. So
Yeah. That's why fighters excel at the lighter weights, because those guys are not playing football.
well, that's why you get the plethora of talent. When people go, 155s, 145s, 130, yeah, because they can't play NBA and NFL and now even Major League Baseball. Hell,
They can, but those guys are huge as well.
hell yes.
Jeez, man.
Like
Like I'm friends with Brad Penny. He's enormous.
huge.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
I was like, man, no wonder you could throw the ball so damn hard.
yeah, because you're almost at the damn plate by the
Fuck.
time you stretch.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I never had that problem. I'm only 5'6". Oh man. Overall, though, Ryan Bader did exactly what I thought he needed to do. There was a couple brain farts in the fight. The very
By
first
both.
round.
By both.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, but the very first round, he has Moldavsky rocked, and then he goes to the clinch.
I don't
I'm
think
like,
he went to the clinch. I
He
don't.
shot in, John.
No, he closed. He was trying to finish. He hit Moldavsky with a big right hand and then followed it with another huge right hand that had Moldavsky going down. But when Moldavsky went down, he pushed forward to come into Bader as Bader's coming in, and it ended up in the clinch. And Moldavsky's good enough to hold on to that clinch and ride out, the trouble time and get to the point where he's not so hurt. But I like the fact that Bader was going after him, trying to finish the fight. Yes, could he have, instead of rushing in to try to, finish it? Dude, I understand why he did it.
Is that not like I was wondering? Like that could have been close to a 10-8 round.
No.
He had him reeling. He did drop him. He sat him to his butt.
Oh,
against
he
the fence.
sat him to his butt as far as his feet were still on the ground, but put him down.
The fence held him up.
Yes, absolutely, no doubt about it. But you take a look at it was a moment of action for we'll say 10 seconds, and then there was a lot of non-action with Moldavsky being smart, holding on to a clinch, slowing Bader down. And Bader wasn't able to do enough to make it, continue on in that 10-8 fashion. So, no, it was a 10-9 round in my opinion, but, definitely an easy round to say goes to Bader. And definitely the way that he needed to start off the fight, in my opinion. I thought that was a key element in him getting that win was that he actually came out and he wasn't the guy getting hurt. He was putting the trouble onto somebody else. And I think, I got to give it to Ryan Bader in this fight because he had moments where he was having problems.
Yeah.
And he had moments that, things were not going for him. And he was tired. And you could tell he was in shape because, man, he would take that minute rest and he'd come back and he was ready to go. And by the end of the round, it looked like, he is breathing hard. And start of the next round, you go, way to go, man. He's
a different fighter at heavyweight. He's just a different
way
fighter
better because he would die out at light heavyweight. I said he was losing too much weight. How long ago did we say Ryan Bader needs to stay at heavyweight? And that was before he went back. I said, just give up the light heavyweight title. Heavyweight is your division. It's perfect for him.
Moldavsky's will be his toughest test, I think, moving forward. They'll probably end up fighting again here, but I'd say probably within the next 2 years. If Ryan's still fighting, but I'm saying I could see that. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Ryan could stop fighting at any time because Ryan is set. He's got an incredible life. He's got an incredible family and stuff. And he doesn't need to fight. He just likes to.
I have no idea who likes to fight.
I saw you bouncing around in that cage.
I
saw you. You were getting that feeling back.
Yeah,
I was trying to talk you into it.
I miss the noise though. I do. When I got in the cage this last fight in Phoenix,
bounce,
the bouncing around. You hear the boards in the
but the way you were bouncing, it was really
very stiff. It was very stiff. I thought I was gonna fucking throw my back out. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, John. I was right. Ryan Bader was the faster fighter. Elephant in the room.
I thought they were very.
All those refs.
They were very much.
All those refs that called you. They're all bullshit. Bullshit.
They have no idea.
The number one bullshit. That's what they are. Number one bullshit. This bullshit. This is bullshit. Number one bullshit.
Right. But it is true. Ryan looked because he did not look fast at light heavyweight. You take a look at, but he did look fast against Moldavsky there.
They were a lot closer than I thought, to be honest.
No,
I thought Ryan Bader was going to be a lot faster than him, and it wasn't that significant. But it was more significant in the beginning portions of the rounds because, like you said, he got his recovery and he was fresh.
Yep.
Like his first minute and a half, 2 minutes of every round, he was fresh, and then he started dying out a little bit. But there's a lot of wrestling and that just starts tiring you out. For heavyweights, that's exhausting. So
I thought one of the big differences, and I didn't know if that would happen in the fight, was Bader had a lot more power.
Yeah.
The explosiveness of when he landed, I thought he landed with heavier shots throughout the fight.
Yeah.
And
I look at guys like DC, and everyone he trained with at 205, getting ready for 205 fights. They're like, he hits hard, yeah, but when he goes to heavyweight, he's sitting people down. Like training partners, he's like, oh, I didn't even hit him hard. They're just getting wobbled. They're getting sat to their butts. They're getting hit in the knee. He was dropping people in training. He's just a different fight that has way more power. Some people don't translate that power though.
Nope, that's true.
Like when you're at a lower weight, then you go up. Sure, you may develop it, but sometimes that lower weight doesn't translate. If I went up to 170, I have even less crack than I already had at 55. It's embarrassing. I swear, it's embarrassing. Yeah, that's why I try to always kick, because I knew if I caught you with the kick, I'd probably have a good chance of winning the fight. But my hands, I didn't even bother. Javier used to make fun of me because I have the worst as a Mexican. I'm half Mexican. For those of you guys that don't know, and I have the worst left hook in the game. And they're like, Mexicans and body shots and left hooks is like their bread and butter.
Bread and butter, baby.
Not this one. Not this one.
Not this guy.
Nuh-uh. That was the white side that came through.
It's that angle, man. You go to that angle to get that digging in, and the white guy takes over, and it's like,
No, it was horrible, man. Yeah. Oh, it's embarrassing. I felt so embarrassed for myself. But it is what it is. All right, with the co-main event, John, when we had talked off air, I didn't want to say this, on air. We had talked off air throughout the week of the fight. And I said, this fight right here between Benson Henderson and Islam Mammadov, it has the chance of being the boringest fight on the card.
absolutely.
And it ended up being probably the best fight on the card.
It was a great fight. It was a great job because of Benson Henderson and what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an absolute amazing fight from beginning to end. Benson, this reminded me a little bit of the Adam Piccolotti fight, where he never stopped moving. He just kept scrambling. He just kept trying to fight out of positions. He fought a good fight. He fought hard. We haven't seen that Benson Henderson in a long time. And I think, was it you that said on air, said, this is the Benson Henderson that Bellator was hoping to sign 5 years ago or however long. But I think what happened was we really didn't do him any favors by allowing him to fight at 170.
But Bellator
every time he's fought there in Bellator, he's got crushed.
But it's also him, because he's the guy, and this is not a dig.
He's stubborn.
And I've talked to his coach John Crouch about it. I said, John, why is he? He goes, I can't talk him out of it.
His wife. His wife said he's stubborn.
I can't talk him out of it. He goes, John, I don't ever want him to fight. I can't talk him out of it. I can't tell him what to do. And once he sets his mind, he's going to do it. And it's like, okay, I understand. But it's like, yeah, the Koreshkov fight, I understand why that one occurred.
Yeah.
I understand why he came in and took that title shot and believing, because he had been fighting 170 pounders in the UFC and come away with wins. And he goes against Koreshkov, and it's just way too big, way too strong, too much length. Everything worked against him in that. But then when he goes in that, when he fights Jason Jackson, I don't understand it at all. It's like, why?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Have you not been watching this guy?
And that was right off of his loss, right? To Chandler, I think. Wasn't that?
It might have been.
Can you click on Benson first, bud? I think it was right after his loss to Chandler. He wanted to get back in there right away.
Yeah, because he ended up on a three fight losing streak because of it.
Yeah, it was right after his loss to Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not a good decision in that one, but you got to love the guy as far as, he comes to compete. He competes hard. As soon as he started, off in this fight, though, he started throwing, kicks to the body. I'm like, don't do that against this guy. That's the wrong thing. Either down low or up high. Keep his hands, committed to his head with the high kicks. Yeah. He's not going to catch him. He's going to look towards blocking, and it's going to be a lot better for you. But Mammadov is just this guy, man. He's so good at what he does, but he has no sense of urgency in a fight whatsoever. And that's his downfall, because if you're Mammadov in this, and it was a close fight. It could have gone to either guy. I wouldn't have complained either way. It was that close. But if you're Mammadov and saying, "Oh, I think I got screwed. I should have won that fight," it's like, you need to learn from this, because you have no sense of urgency, and you're allowing these things to occur to where someone could say, "Yeah, I think the other guy worked harder, did more." Mammadov needs to someone needs to teach him that thing on the floor is called a gas pedal, and you got to step on it at times.
Yeah, I look at it a couple different ways, because I train with Mammadov, and I can tell you, I think some of it has to do a little bit with how the Dagestanis trained. There's some days where they'll come in and they'll be there for 2 hours straight, and they will just go light and drill wall drills back and forth with each other. They really flow. There's no one, going hard, no one getting hurt. They're working, really focusing on the technique, on how to get the fight to the ground, but they do it in a slow manner. And some of that may just translate into the actual fight itself, thinking like, I got time. Benson's been
2 hours.
Benson's been guilty of fighting that way as well. I mean, look at the Miles Jury fight. And there's other fights too. He's a slow starter where he's inked out decisions, just hoping for the best, And remember in the UFC, he was the guy that just was able to ink out these super close fights. The Gilbert fight, the my fight. I mean, there was other fighters, a lot more.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar. Like both. Yeah,
lots.
So all of those things. I mean, Benson's been number one to do that as well, and been known to do that as well. But Islam, he's also just, I mean, if not being defeated in over a decade is impressive. Doesn't matter what organization you're fighting in. That's impressive. Because if you're fighting, what I want people to understand is that if you're fighting in a shitty organization, right? What's motivating you to get motivated for the shittier fighters? Knowing that you probably belong in the bigger promotions. Then you get to the bigger promotions, and then you're like, you're still used to just fighting at that pace of like, I can control the situation, and he was doing everything he needed to do, but he just needed to be, and I told him this, you need to be more active on the top position. Go back and watch your Brent Primus fight. You're lucky that you got the decision on that as well. I mean, I'm being honest, because I actually thought Brent Primus beat him because he didn't do anything on top except defend and escape submissions. I'm like, you can't win fights that way. That's not how you win. Like, you
That's
can't
supposed
win
to be
that way.
because you get nothing for defense.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. It's like, you should have stopped that. That's what the point is. You shouldn't get points for that. So just because I was on top and the other guy's shooting submission after submission after submission, I don't know, man. I had Primus beating him as well.
Yeah.
And so you play with fire long enough in the decision area, you're gonna get burned.
This is true.
And that's what happened in this situation. So he's got to let it go. Like, there was moments in that third round where he was, Benson was on the leg. He's got to throw more striking. Benson was kind of outlanding him from the bottom, but he had the harder two strikes on the top.
Yep.
So that's really how it came down to. But then Benson was doing the roll through, the attack on the submissions, which none of them were really that close.
No.
There was the inverted heel hook he kind of got on for a second, but then he was able to get his leg back. But it was, I don't know. But it ended up being a way better fight than I thought. A way better fight.
Well, the thing that made it fun for me was when you're watching a fight like that and you see when Mamadov starts to go for throws, and Benson feels that I'm going to have a problem here stopping this. He just flowed with it and rolled through it, did some Granby rolls, some suicide rolls. All those things made it exciting because it took the fight and put it into a new position. And he never accepted that I'm going to be on the bottom. Let me try to roll through. Let me do something to make this position change. And that's what made it actually fun, because then Mamadov was out of position at times, had to try to scramble back. There was things that went on. It was close, but it was an entertaining fight as far as you look for grappling situation and entertainment out of those things. This one had it.
Yeah, when I see people on Twitter going, "Oh, he got robbed. Islam got robbed," I'm like,
No.
You can't call that a robbery.
No, that's
you can't
not
call
a
it
robbery.
It was so close.
Yeah.
That's not a robbery. All right, anyways, Henry Corrales and Aiden Lee. This fight I thought was going to be the fight of the night. Ended up being the worst fight of the card. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I mean, I'm gonna stop saying shit like that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a sneaky good fight. No.
No.
Aiden Lee didn't come to fight. He came to get on his bike. He didn't throw anything in the first round. He started coming off strong in the second, but it just was one of those things where it felt like everything was laboring and he seemed a lot slower.
He just did not look like he was in the groove. He wasn't feeling comfortable. I don't know if it's that Henry hit him with a shot early on that made him go,
I think it was the leg kicks, John. Henry came out with the inside leg kicks, that inside calf kick and the outside calf kick. I thought was brilliant. It really changed the movement of Aiden Lee. It really had him thinking, like, I can't afford to take too many of these. And when you're tall, long, and lanky like that, like, what is he, 6 foot, 6'1",
yeah,
at 145 pounds? I mean, those kicks, you have no muscle already on your legs. Like, it's going straight to the bone.
Skin and bone.
Skin and bones, man. He's a stud. He's just got to... He's got to have a little more confidence in himself, I think. I think he's also used to fighting wrestlers. Everyone's trying to take him down. Henry's like, I ain't taking your ass down. I'm trying to knock your ass out.
Yep.
That's the way Henry fights. Stud. It was, it's two stud fighters that I expected fireworks from. One fighter showed up and the other fighter didn't. And Aiden Lee, I know he listens to our show, so he's going to probably take this a little bit to the heart. But my friend, you're a lot better than that. You got to go out there and let it go. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you take a lot of people complain because look, the fight ended up in a technical decision based upon Aiden not being able to finish the third round based upon it wasn't an eye poke. I think it was a scrape of his eye, and that could happen. And when you get your cornea gets scraped, look, you're trying to clear out your vision and your eye's burning, and it's because your cornea got scratched. It's going to burn. It's going to be uncomfortable. And so I don't blame him at all for that. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
It was a matter of he did not fight a good fight against a guy that you would have thought would be a style that he would have been happy with because he's always having guys trying to take him down. You look at his Oskarov fight from Moscow, a guy that's really good stand-up. He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
He moved so well. Everything was straight shots. They were fast. It was beautiful. And this one, just at moments he had it. There was a couple times all of a sudden he started to get on track and you saw those straight shots landing. You go, all right, he's starting to turn it on, and then kind of got away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't live up to the hype that I thought it would be. But let's talk about Sabah Homasi and Jaleel Willis.
Again, Homasi with the power. Nope, I'm going to submit you.
So let me go for submission.
Dude, he did great.
I thought it was smart.
It was great.
It
It was a beautiful job by Homasi. Here's the thing. Homasi's got, I always say it all, and I've talked to him about it. Dude, don't get mad. He's got that, that little deet, and you'll see
I don't understand why, because when you talk to him, he's such a nice guy.
he's a great guy, but he's got that, he'll talk during the weigh-ins and he'll jabber back and forth with his opponent, and he starts to build up a hatred for him, and it's like, don't get into that. Go fight smart, because when he fights smart, man, he's dangerous because he does have pop, man. The guy, you can see when he hits a guy, the guy goes, oh shit, and then he's athletic. He can wrestle when he wants. You could see the strength because he didn't even get out of the half guard on that arm triangle, and he was able to have enough squeeze where Willis couldn't take it and ends up, tapping out to it. So, he's got game, man. You'll talk to him and he goes, I've blown it so many times, not doing the right things and, not fighting smart. He goes, my record sucks. And I said, you don't have to worry about your record, dude. You have to worry about going out and putting on fights like that, going out and being, the guy that everyone knows is coming to fight. You're going to be able to do this as long as you want.
Yeah, if you got to think about the submission threat as well on top of that power. See, I thought when he had kind of like, I wouldn't say he rocked Jaleel, but he had Jaleel reeling back and turned his back on him and stuff, gets to the ground. Sabah normally would just unleash the hands, right?
Yep.
Until the point where Jaleel would get back up and the fight would continue on. In this case, he jumped in, put the hooks in, threw on the choke, and didn't get it, but then made the transition to the top. And
but
the
was
side
smart
choke
in that the way you could see him. You could see it, you can't tell exactly what's in his mind, but you could see it by his body positioning. He wants to come up on top. And he's just waiting. And smart move. Smart, with what he was doing.
Does Jaleel Willis, because we brought him on originally to fight at 55. Then he went up to 70. You think he should go back down? Or should go down to 55?
I don't know. He's thick, man. He's got big legs.
Yeah.
He's densely muscled and stuff. So I don't know. I know he'll
be the faster fighter at 70. Seems like the faster fighter at 70. But look, if you're he's not having success.
Nope.
So you make the adjustment. I don't know how he makes the adjustment, but
that's 2 in a row. 2 first round fights where he got finished. So you got to look and say, man, we got to go and take a look at what's going to change this up right now, because he's a good fighter.
He is.
He's an athletic person, man, and he's got all the tools, but he's making mistakes. That was a kick by Homasi that started that off with him turning, and that's what allowed Homasi to get his back and take him down and stuff. So I don't know, how much it hurt him with that shot. Obviously, it did the way he turned. So, these things happen in fighting.
Well, speaking of all the tools, but just can't seem to get a win, Darian Caldwell. Top level wrestler getting taken down, John. Taken down a couple times and controlled from the top position. I've said this over and over. He reminds me of Mike Van Arsdale.
Yes.
All they do is control the top, and when they can't control the top, they start to just fold like, gosh, I'm not used to being here. But they use so much strength trying to hold somebody down instead of striking and hitting the hooks, and he just tries to ride people and sit them to their hips. But when you can't do that because your hands are locked the whole time, you're you're using so much strength to hold them down, you fatigue yourself.
Yeah.
I don't understand. He's lost so many fights where he's been in the turtle position. Stand up. And the moment, I think it was in the end of the second,
he's exhausted.
It was the beginning of the third, I think. He came out and started throwing some awesome kicks and some combinations, and he landed. Yeah. I was like, this is what you need to do. Relax, stay on the outside, throw him. Like, He's got a little bit of power. He's got a little bit of pop. He's fast. He's athletic. I mean, fuck, man. Like, I don't understand. I've never met somebody who is an NC2A national champ and beat one of the best guys in NC2A history in wrestling in the finals. And then it seems like he has no confidence.
Yeah.
Like he has, I don't understand what it is. I don't get it, John. I don't get it, man. I wish we would keep him because I like him. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just fun to be around. You know, he's got a good heart. But I think this is what, 4 losses in a row?
Is it 4 or 3?
It might be 3.
Oh,
Take a look at that because I think it's
3
in a row. Yeah.
3, but I mean,
But the one he was in the tournament because take a look at his win before his 3 losses. Look at who he beat. That's what makes him the guy that you go, man. He's got the tools, man. He's got the ability. I actually thought he was fighting very well against Barzola, but when I looked at Barzola and this is a guy that people look at when you look and say that guy fights.
yeah, you look at his face.
You look
He's
at
ugly.
Barzola.
He's
It's
ugly.
awesome. No, he's not ugly. He's great.
He's ugly, John. Say it. Just say it, John.
he's not. I love it.
He trains at AKA, so
I know.
I'll tell him to his face he's ugly.
But you take a look at obviously, this is a guy from Peru training at AKA, and there's a reason why guys train at AKA, and especially if they want to be better at their wrestling. This guy had more takedowns in the UFC than Frankie Edgar. All right, so it's not that he can't wrestle; he can definitely wrestle, and he proved that against Caldwell. But this is a guy that's got a gas tank. Barzola is and this is Caldwell is a Maserati. He's that guy, man. He's shiny. He looks good. He's fast. Barzola is a
You went Maserati, not Ferrari. You went.
Well,
you go Ferrari. I mean, okay, it seems like a step down.
I like the pitchfork, the Trident.
Step down. Oh, there you
So, but Barzola, he's an F-150, man. He's that truck that's got a big gas tank, and it just keeps on working. And when he, finally gets you to the point where that work has put you at a deficit, that's what he did to Caldwell. He starts turning it on, and you got to give him credit.
Did you say F-150?
I did say an F-150 because it's the most popular truck.
Fords don't go very far, buddy. They don't go very far. Fords don't do shit. They're usually found on the side of the road dead. That old
fast
Ford
on race day, even though it's a F-150. But I mean,
calm down. Dodge diesel. Say Dodge. Say a Cummins diesel. Go ahead. You have a Dodge. How do you not say that?
You
have that nice little fast one.
I'm going with the one's the most popular. TRX, baby.
The TRX, the Raptor
the
Killer,
T-Rex,
right? Is that what they're calling it?
That's it, man.
The Raptor Killer. I don't know if it's true. Is it true?
It's absolutely true.
It's faster maybe than Raptor, but can it do all the jumps that the Raptor can do?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen any videos of that.
Yeah, guess what?
I'm not.
I'll show you.
Please do. Please do, buddy.
Oh, I'm not doing it with my truck.
There goes John. No more John. They have a place in Utah that the Raptors you can go to for their, I don't know if it's like their course trail. You can go there, and if you're thinking about buying one, you can take it and jump it, and they let you, it's like going to the track in Vegas to race the cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they have that for Raptors, and I think it's in Utah. That's pretty dope. All right, next fight.
Oops.
Let's go.
Thing there. There we go.
Oh, man. Podcast Dave has lost it. He's lost it.
Christopher Gonzalez against Sadawad.
Dude.
Not much to say.
There's a lot to say here because I'm just going to say it right, as easy as it gets. In fact, I'm talking with Danny Castillo, and he says, the last thing in the world I was telling Chris to do is throw the kicks because Kieran Fitzgibbons had talked to him and said, look, you can wrestle your ass off. No one's going to take you down. You could throw kicks with anytime you want. Impunity towards it. Go ahead. What are they going to do? Right? And he does. And man, he hit him.
Danny's like, no, don't tell him that.
That's exactly. Danny goes, I was so against it. He goes, look what I know. I was like,
that's so funny.
Yeah. But look, he's been working out with Kieran, from
he's a great coach.
Combat Sports Academy. He's a great coach. And, and what makes Kieran so good, I'm gonna say,
he doesn't want the spotlight.
We see it all the time with guys that are fucking spotlight hounds, and it's all about them. And then you'll get the guys, man. It's not at all. It's about fucking doing the right thing for their people, teaching them things that are going to help them win fights and being there when they're supposed to be there. Way to go. Kieran, outstanding coach, outstanding person.
We've had at AKA, we've had coaches literally leave our gym because they couldn't go in the cage after the fighter fought. Some of them left the gym because the fighter didn't ask them to corner them, even though they were like their pad holder, throughout camp, but didn't ask them to go to corner them, and so then they got pissed off and they never came back.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the clout chasing corners. If you have someone like that,
get rid of them.
Get rid of them. Yep. It's just cancer. It's just cancer in your. It's horrible, man. I can't be around negative people like that. I mainly spent my whole fight weeks, all my fight weeks from UFC 44. I spent them alone. I loved it. Like, I wanted to go eat by myself. I wanted just to make the weight by myself. I want to do all those things. I don't want people hanging around me, man. I don't need entourages. It drives me absolutely crazy when I see these fighters with entourages. It drove me nuts when I'd see DC running around with like fucking 10 people running around him. I'm like, just fucking threw up in my mouth. I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, they're friends, family. I get it. But I'm like, I couldn't do it during fight week. I'm like, just stay away from me. Let me be, leave me alone. Khabib, same thing. Like in the beginning, but in the beginning though, John, it was just me and like two other guys were the only ones that would go to corner him. Just it. Yeah. Like, his first 3 fights, then when he was with AKA, nobody wanted to go corner him. They're like, yeah, you go. Like, I was like, yeah, I'll go. I like the kid. He's a nice kid. Look how fucking damn good he is. I'm not saying that's because of me, but I'm just simply saying, like, back then, like, he's a stud. He's a stud back then. Good kid, though. But he didn't have an entourage. No, now.
Does now.
Shit. Now, but it realistically, he's the guy that brings the entourage because he's trying to lift up his younger guys that used to train under his dad, or just people that, that are from his area, that train at his facility and stuff. So I love that. I love that about him. So, all right, let's go. Dalton Rasta looked fantastic. Dwayne Johnson put on a better fight than I thought.
I got to give it to Dwayne. Look, coming in last minute.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the gas was the biggest problem for him because he was talking, man. He was talking snap during that fight. It was hysterical. He's
John, what the hell is talking snap? Come on, is that like an old man phrase?
No,
Tell
man.
me. Somebody commented that, like, what is talking snap?
Talking snap
it's the same as talking shit?
Talking shit. I'm just not saying the fucking word. You take a look, man. He was, he actually, you could hear him. He goes, "I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass." He goes, I just started laughing. I go, "That's awesome." But
the Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
That's so great. I thought Dalton Rasta looked phenomenal, man. He is built like a Greek god. He's only like 5'6". He's so small.
He's not that tall. If you're gonna say but he's not 5'6". I'd say he's 5'10".
Maybe 5'4". But he was supposed to fight Romero Cotton, who's a teammate of mine,
for the third time.
Yeah, I know. I think they're gonna just get rid of that fight. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't think Dalton Rasta will accept it again because he's saying why. And you got to be honest and look at it. You got to say, why am I going to take another fight with a guy that all these times has had to pull out?
Yeah.
Now that this one wasn't Romero's fault, I know that.
Yeah.
But you're preparing for someone, and then that's not the guy you end up fighting. And after a while, you go, no, don't even give me his name, and I don't blame him.
No, it's true. It's true. Nikita against Blaine Shutt. Blaine Shutt did way better than I thought. You thought he was gonna. He looked good.
Yeah, well, he's tough, and you got to. I gotta go all the way back to Mikhailov. First off, technically he's very good, and I love the fact that he finished the fight.
Mm-hmm. Because it was boring as fuck until then.
Well, he was dominating the action.
But he didn't do
it.
No activity. He's the same knock on him. I have the same knock on him as that I have with Mamedov. It's like when they get on top, they didn't do shit. Yeah. I was like, you got to do something, man. Yeah. If you want to win, you got to do something. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. But the kid's going to be good.
Yeah,
he's going to be good, man.
What is he? He's only got 1 or 2 losses.
One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, he's good. He's got great wrestling. I was surprised because he was having a lot of success on the feet early in the fight.
Yeah, and then went to wrestling.
And then he went to wrestling. I'm like, I felt like that's frustrated me because I was watching. Then when I got to the Bader fight, and then Bader rocks Moldavsky, and then the same thing. He goes right to the wrestling. I'm like, what are you doing? Get out of the clinch. Fucking finish him. What
These
you
are all
doing?
people that have been listening to you saying wrestle.
Yeah, wrestle. But hey, this we just talked about. We did a promo on this guy yesterday. Not on this guy, but in terms of wrestling and young, talented jiu-jitsu guys. Lucas Brennan, what a stud. You know, his dad, Chris Brennan, was a fighter for years, fought in all the top organizations. Shit, him and his dad, him and I were supposed to fight a couple times. I just feel old right there. Feel old right there. He's got a 21-year-old son, and I was like supposed to fight his dad. That's how fucking old, man. That's crazy. But his son's absolute stud. I mean, he's slowly bringing him along. He's 21.
Being very smart with
he's
him.
got some good wrestling. He's got standout jiu-jitsu. And he's just getting better. He's going to get a lot better. And his stand-up's coming around.
His confidence is getting higher and higher, and you can see it. You know, he's when he first nothing. You watch guys when they're just starting, and you go, man, he's nervous. And of course, there's a lot riding on it for him. It's so important to them. But you see now the confidence as he's walking into the cage, and the confidence once the fight starts that he knows. You know, and we said, look, as soon as he gets his hands on Lugo, and I had watched Ben Lugo fight many times. He is a good fighter. He has got a lot of skill. He's a tough dude. But you take a look at those levels, and Lucas Brennan was born on the mats. He has lived his entire life on the mats, and it's not only the jiu-jitsu. He combines and he, intertwines that wrestling, American wrestling, and jiu-jitsu together, and it's not an easy thing to understand or to stop if you're not a guy that does both of them well. And his setup on, he's always transitioning to the next thing. And you watched him on this, choke that he gets. A lot of people were thinking it's a guillotine. You're looking at it as an arm triangle because it really is the way his arm is. But they call it the assassin choke. What a beautiful submission, pulled off flawlessly. Everything he did put Lugo, he's a step behind now. Now he's 2 steps behind. He's 3 steps behind. He's never going to catch up in the position he's at. And that's what a good submission fighter does. And Lucas Brennan has got it. If you end up, being matched up against Lucas Brennan, you realize I cannot think that I'm going to go to the ground and do well with this guy. He's always going to be transitioning and trying to get another move ahead, and I'm going to get myself to a point where I can't catch up. So he looked fantastic. Kudos to him and kudos to his dad for being a guy so smart to handle his son the right way. Tell him, hey, we're going to go this route. We're not going to go after money in the beginning. We're going to go after learning and getting comfortable in the fight game, and then we'll go after the big names and the big money.
Well, John, you got to take into consideration there's a lot. A lot of it has to do with Lucas in terms of, I know his dad's trying to guide him in the right direction, but at that age, you think you can be undefeated. You think you can be better than everything. And he's letting his dad guide him in the right direction.
That's right.
He's been there, done that. And young kids are like, you don't know what you're talking about. I need to fight for the title. And you start bringing it up. He's not doing that. I want to be
the youngest champion.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. And what's important in this sport is longevity. Because the longer you fight, the more money you make.
Yeah.
Like to be a flash in the pan, sure, you can make a lot of money real quick, but what do you do for the next 45 years of your life? Make a lot of money throughout, take care of your body, do the best you can. And I think this kid's going to have a bright career. We saw the deflation of Big Tuna. Look, he's tough, John. We're not going to take anything away. He's still tough. He's a
tough dude.
He just, you could tell that Cully was just the better wrestler, the better control fighter. Physicality was a key. Definitely was a key.
Yeah.
So, does Big Tuna go to 185 though? Can he make 185?
He actually could. He doesn't have that big of a frame.
No. He's thick. Like you can tell he's thick, he's got like thick hips and shit.
Yeah.
But he moves really well for a big guy.
Again, the guy can fight, man. He just got overwhelmed again. Physicality. A very good wrestler, a guy that's actually got good stand up too. And then when he was in the top position, he was laying some heat down on him because he's learned He did a beautiful job of lacing the arm, pulling his arm away, opening up with his free hand. He just had Ben Parrish in a position where he was defending. I know Ben was upset that the fight got stopped because he wants to go on, and it possibly he could have gone farther, but if you're unable to get yourself out of that position and that referee is saying, hey, you got to move, and you can't, and you're taking shots, that's why the referee stopped the fight. He's saying, you've been checkmated. You can't get out of there. I'm not going to just let you be a punching bag here. And I understand Ben's, let me go out on my shield. He did. You did the best you could on that night. Regroup, come back again. I would love to see. I like Ben Parrish's attitude. I would hope that Bellator actually would sign it. I think he's fun to watch. I like the way he comes.
I like his energy at the weigh-ins. I like his energy throughout the week of the fight, the meetings, the press conferences and stuff. He's fun, man.
Yeah.
He's a good.
And he's got one of the. I don't know why I love the Big Tuna nickname, but it's fantastic.
That's awesome. It's awesome. All right. Well, hey, guys, that wraps up our coverage of the Bellator 273. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And hopefully you guys made some money, too, when you guys went to mybookie.ag and used our promo code weighing in. Hopefully you guys made a little bit of extra cash on some of the bets we talked to you about. Yeah. I thought some of the fights that I thought were going to be exciting ended up being horrible. And some of the fights that I thought were going to be boring ended up still in the show. Absolutely phenomenal. And this is the fight game, man, like we were talking about. When you got guys like Sabah Homasi and DeCastro on both the different fight cards hitting submissions, like that's when you realize you don't know anything about the sport anymore. You don't know shit about MMA. So overall, though, I mean, I thought, we had what? How many finishes did we have on the card? There was 9 fights.
3, 4, 5.
A lot.
Yeah.
5, 6.
I want to say
we had 5.
6.
So six finishes, and I think it was what, 9 fights?
10? I was gonna say, wasn't there only like 2 or 3 decisions?
1, 2, 3.
Because we had the technical decision. The last 3 all went to the decision.
Yeah. Technical decision was the Aiden Lee fight. Anyways, good. It was I had a lot of people reaching out to me going, man, definitely the co-main and the main event delivered. Great fights. They were impressed with Sabah Homasi. A lot of people were watching the prelims on YouTube, here in the States. And they were like, man, these guys are good. It was phenomenal fights. I was like, all right, that's cool. I like to hear that. Instead of all this negative energy of like, Bellator sucks. And this, I'm like, these kids are good.
I love the haters.
I love it.
I love it when they'll try to say something on Twitter. It's like, oh, hey, no. And I was just, most of the time, I'm not going to even respond. I had one guy sit there and say, because my son was working that event. And I love when people say, oh, what a conflict. You're commentating and you have a son that's judging. It's like, I work for Bellator. He's working for an athletic commission. I didn't hire him, you stupid shit. Right?
But I can also tell you that John yells at his son too after the fight sometimes when he does bad things.
I yell at all of them.
He's like, no, you got to look at this. You got to look at that. I mean, look, there's meetings afterwards, and I'm gonna tip my hat to John on this. And I don't like to clout him anymore because he's got a big head. But it really does come down to like a lot of these refs come to John afterwards and go, hey, like, how did I make this mistake? Did I stop it too early? Did I stop it too late? What should I have seen? Like the fence grabs from Mamedov
and Henderson.
Both. Yeah,
both.
Henderson was grabbing with his toes.
Yep.
Whereas Mamedov was grabbing with his hands, like full fist, offense. But we saw it throughout as well. I think Moldavsky grabbed the fence a couple times as well.
Yeah.
And so, like in those situations, in those scenarios, I mean, the refs come back and they start talking to John, and you're having drinks, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, still doing well. Thank you very much.
You got to admit, I did not try to force you in any way.
You asked, you want one, and you started pushing the beer towards me.
You want one?
John, the problem that I have with not drinking, right, is this. I fucking drink more soda, and that's worse.
You do.
That's worse. Coke. Might as well just drink. I know. I went through like 3 or 4 tall glasses of Coke at dinner because I couldn't drink, and I'm like, this is not a good situation. Anyways, overall, good night of fights. Dave, what do you got for news for us, buddy?
Okay. Well, I would be remiss if we did not discuss.
You better not bring up anything with the WWE.
I mean, it's close. It's close. It doesn't have those letters in it, but Jake Paul over the weekend released a diss track on Dana White.
Oh yeah.
And
Fucking
I know that
hilarious.
you guys saw it. I saw it as well, and it was an interesting thing
Oh,
to take place in MMA.
Well, if some of you guys listened to us last week when we were talking about the UFC and the main event and the heavyweights and everything getting going, you guys could have taken our advice, won a little extra money. We had the right winner and how the fight was going to get done. But go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in, where most people made some money off of us from our calls and the decisions in which we made for these main events. Now, there was some fights, obviously, we weren't always right on, but we did narrow it down to some good stuff for you guys to pick and choose, especially in the in-between and round bettings. So you guys go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in. There's also a QR code right over there. You guys can use that one. And when you guys use that QR code, it takes you right to our page. You guys can do your initial deposit, which they will give you a little bit of extra spending cash with that QR code at mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. You've got the NFL playoffs that are happening as well. So go ahead and there's plenty of sports to gamble on right now to try to make a little extra cash during these times. But make sure you guys use our promo code weighing in at mybookie.ag.
Okay, if you go back a couple of shows, and I said Dana's in over his head with this guy when it comes to social media, he needs to stop. Guess what?
Yeah.
He's in over his head. Yeah, Jake Paul can bring this to a different level. I got to tell you, I'm now a Jake Paul fan. He's cracking me up, dude.
It is. It's hilarious, John.
Jake, I want to issue an apology to you. I want to say I'm sorry about the poodle haircut thing that I said. I want to apologize to say anything that was bad, because you are killing me, dude. You are absolutely making me just crack up, and so I want to thank you for that because this
don't
video
encourage
was
this kind of behavior, John. Don't encourage this type of shit.
Hey, you got to be honest. When someone comes and puts one on somebody like this, you go, wow.
Yeah.
And he's after him, and he's just destroying him.
Yeah. I'm not going to apologize to Jake Paul. You're on your own there, buddy.
It's okay.
Okay. Poodle hair is what I'm going to call him. That's what he's going to be. He's going to just control the social media platforms left and right. Now, I heard he joined with an investment company that now owns a big portion of whatever the company is.
Majority portion.
Yeah. The majority portion that owns the UFC. So
Endeavor.
I don't know how that's going to work with Endeavor. Yeah, I don't know. He bought stock or something like that, and they took over 51% of the stock. I don't know. So maybe they have a little bit of clout now, and they're able to make some changes in terms of the sport. Who knows? I mean, yeah. But he's finding ways to get under Dana's skin.
Oh, man.
Dana needs to just stop. Just leave it alone and stop.
Just ignore him.
Ignore him.
Done.
Just ignore him.
Not gonna even
do what you do.
The only
someone
Dana's
asked
almost
in his
Dana's
press
almost a
conferences.
billionaire.
Yeah, in his press conference and stuff, and a reporter says, Jake Paul, he says, next. Just don't even acknowledge anything with it, man. Let it go.
Yeah, you're gonna lose, man.
You can't win this one.
You guys are so wrong
leave
because the only way Dana White comes out of this is by releasing his own diss track. That is the only way out.
If Dana comes out releasing a song,
God mode.
God mode. He should just have a poodle walking around on his track. Just have like a poodle with little
little boxing
beret,
on,
little pink beret in it or something.
Kick a poodle, or like he should run up and kick a poodle and like that.
Kick a poodle.
Oh, that would do Dana well. Yeah. Now he's got PETA again.
Now he's got PETA on his ass. Make it a stuffed animal poodle. All right, what else you got?
Let's hop into some real news now. So, Zabit released a video on his Instagram, and in the video, he says, on February 28th, I will simply destroy someone. So, he's suggesting that he's got an opponent booked for late February.
Well,
it's coming up.
That's only a month away.
Yeah.
So, I would think that we would know it.
I mean, unless he's fighting in a different organization, which I don't
know.
He's
still under contract with UFC.
Look at
Zabit is good.
Mm-hmm.
He's good in a multitude of ranges and styles, and he's so freaking tall and long for the 145-pound division.
Just say it, John. Say it.
Tall, long, and lanky, baby.
Thank you.
Someone
Thank
take
you,
a
my
drink.
friends. Thank you, my friends.
That's our next shirt. Tall, long, and lanky.
Take a shot.
But I mean, to sit there and say, if he knows of an opponent that he's got and stuff, that's great. But I would love to see him back. The guy he's just good.
Yeah, if I look at the mix-up in that category, like who he could fight. I mean, he's already beaten Calvin Kattar, but I mean, having him fight any of them, I would like to see him fight Yair. I think that'd be a phenomenal fight. Phenomenal fight. I know they were booked that fight, 3 or 4 times, I think they booked it.
Yeah, before.
Yair decided to leave the company because he didn't want to fight.
He didn't want to fight.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm good. I'll just go ahead.
No reason to fight that guy. I don't want to fight Abraham Lincoln.
He's a stud, though.
He is.
He's a guy that's tall, long, and lanky. He's got a lot of pop, and he's got good wrestling. He's phenomenal submissions. I mean, I hope to see him back because I think he would really mix up that division. And he was, what was he ranked number 3 or something like that? When he fought. Him and Yair would be great. Him and Brian Ortega would be great. The size of Brian Ortega would give him, I think, a little bit of problems. But it would be a great fight. You don't think so?
No, I think he can give problems to everybody there, including the champ.
I agree with that, but the guys that are used to being the taller and longer fighters, like John Jones, when he fought Gus, you fight someone that's the same, like equally the same
sometimes,
length as you.
You'll see a difference.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit of difference. Like, oh shit, the punches I used to be able to like land and get out of the way, now they're hitting me. Yeah. Oh shit, like I've never been hit this much. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's phenomenal. Next.
All right, next story. Kat Zingano has come out and she said she's hearing Chris Cyborg is refusing a drug test. I'm not sure if it's obviously true or not. Don't know if Kat's just trying to promote the fight, but Cyborg comes out and responds, hey Zingano, why are you lying? I haven't refused any drug tests. I'm ready whenever you are. Behind the scenes, you keep saying to Bellator you need more time to prepare for me. You need a different opponent first. Now you go on social media with lies and smear campaigns and excuses. Sad.
I think there's probably a little bit of truth between the two things.
No, there's not.
Kat, no?
No.
All right. Maybe I know that Kat probably wants a little bit more time.
Okay.
That's one. Two is Kat's probably asking for her to be drug tested earlier, and there's no reason to. The commissions run the drug testing, but Kat's like, no, I want her to be drug tested, throughout the week, throughout the camp. And she's probably like,
there's one way to do this.
Maybe it's not even presented.
There's one way to do that. One way for Kat to get that done, in a fashion that's possible for it to work, because it is the commissions that are going to run the testing, and they'll decide when someone is going to get tested. The UFC uses USADA for their testing, and sometimes there are commissions that will use that same USADA program that the UFC is doing with their fighters and accept those drug tests. California won't do it anymore because they've had problems with USADA and some of their testing and what they've done.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, but the problem here is because Kat says, I want you to drug test, she has no right to say that as far as any power with it or anything like that. Chris has tested multiple times, and she's passed all the tests. And for her to, she doesn't have to say no. When someone tells her, hey, you're going to take a drug test, she takes the drug test. The problem is that if Kat wants to do this, then Kat should go and say, look, I would like to do VADA, voluntary anti-drug testing. I will pay for it. I'll pay for it for me, and I'll pay for it for you. But it's expensive. And so that's the way for, if you want to try to draw someone into that, because you're saying, I believe that you're doing something, that's your way of drawing them into it. Go to a company or a association like VADA, that's that voluntary drug testing, say, I will pay for this. Then Chris is in a position where it's like, if she doesn't do it, then it looks like, why are you not doing it? If you got nothing to hide, don't worry about it.
But John, I think people need to understand that these commissions now, like when people say, oh, they have USADA, not all, but like California, Vegas, New York. I mean, there's some of these commissions now, once that contract is signed, they'll just show up at your door
That's
at
right.
any time.
That's
and
right.
say, hey, you need to go to LabCorp right now. And
That's
you have
right.
2 hours to get
You
there.
have an hour to get to Quest Diagnostics. You have this.
Yeah,
whatever.
something like that. And that they did that to me all the damn
Yes.
time. I mean, because
Yes.
I was good looking. I was always shredded, even at 40 years old. I understood. I got it. I got it.
Yeah,
that
of course.
they just would call, but randomly they would just call you and say, hey,
That's right.
this is so and so from the commission. You need to show up here at LabCorp. Within the next 45 minutes. It's already booked. It's already paid for. Get there. This is the address.
Here's your
look up
number.
The one that's closest
Right.
to your house. They know it's the one closest to your house. Yeah, and then also if you told them no, because there was one time I was in San Francisco at the time, and they're like, okay, there's one in San Francisco, and they changed it right there on the spot.
That's right.
Hold
So where
on.
are you?
Yeah, where are
Exactly.
you? Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the commissions are just as good as in terms of the USADA. Now, not all commissions.
No.
That's the other
Absolutely.
thing. Not
That's
all
right.
commissions.
That's right.
And so I understand where Cat's coming from. Paying for it is ridiculous, but to think that these commissions are not doing a good job is just ridiculous. I have developed a really good relationship with Andy Foster, who's the California Commission. What do you call him?
Executive officer.
The executive officer. Okay. He's an absolutely amazing person.
Yep.
He's a really good person. But he has randomly called me at all hours of the night saying, hey, you need to be here at this time to get this test. And, and it is what it is, to make sure that you're a clean fighter. I don't see a problem with that. I think California does a phenomenal job. Think about this. Even when they retested John, and they still found picograms in his system.
Yeah.
It's not like their testing's any, what's it called? USADA's testing's not any better
The
than
same.
the commission's. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same exact thing. And then now what I love is once that contract is signed, you're guaranteed to fight. They can show up at any time and they can test you.
But that's
I remember.
That's the point. What people need to understand is what you just said. Once you sign the contract,
Yeah.
because see, Kat has not signed a contract,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris has not signed a contract, so no one can make either one test right now as a commission, because they have to sign the contract and now apply for the license.
Yep.
And once they're licensed, they can be tested.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
You got to figure in California, you did a lot of your fights in California, so it was easy for them with you because you were already licensed. So your license runs for a year. And so you have that license, and so you fight, and all of a sudden they get a thing that you're going to be fighting. You haven't, you didn't have to reapply for a license. So the fight is 3 months out and they go, hey, we want you to show up here. They have you in that 3-month window that they'll test you multiple times.
No, they got you by the short and curlies for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just be forced to show up at any time, or they'll come to your gym.
Oh yeah.
And be like, hey, we're already here in San Jose. Like we're just randomly, just the commissioner will just stop by and be like, we need you to pee in a cup.
Look, Mike Mazzulli, who runs the Mohegan Sun Tribal Committee, he showed up in Croatia to test Mirko Krokop. He goes, all of a sudden it's like knocking on the door. It's like they'll do that.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know about Croatia.
Yeah, that's a long way.
Oh man.
Once he had applied for the license, all of a sudden he had someone there at his door. It happens.
Yeah. All right, next.
All right. Let's wrap up on this one, and then anything else we'll move to the midweek show. So, Mike Tyson basically comes out and says that he doubts he's ever going to fight again. And then this is a quote that was taken. Guys want to fight me for $100 million. I don't think I'll ever do this stuff like that anymore. I wanted to do the first time against Roy Jones Jr. just for fun, to have fun. Some people took it to another level and made it financial, and the fun went out of it.
Yeah. Though he is somebody who throughout his career, I wouldn't say he squabbled away hundreds of millions of dollars, but I would say he was misguided by people that
people
he
stole
considered,
from him.
Yeah, including his ex-wife. His ex-wife and her fucking mom. A bunch of fucking scumbags. And and then not to mention, what was his manager. This just everyone, what was it? Don King was charging him for those little slits and cuts, right? In the towel.
Yeah.
The towel he wore over, he would charge him some astronomical
He
amount
got
of
charged
money
$87,000 for white towels.
for white towels.
Okay, do you know how many fucking white towels you would have to buy at Walmart or somewhere like that to reach $87,000?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, just I mean, he made his own bad decisions as well. I mean, I had heard stories that he'd bought his whole crew Range Rovers or Land Rovers when they first came out.
Had
like
his
this,
Tigers.
and, yeah, he had his Tigers. I mean, whatever. I mean, but he was also young. What was he, 22, 24, 20, somewhere in there. He's young. So
He was 21 as the champ.
making mistakes, just knocking everyone out. And then, lost his mentor who kind of guided him and kept him on track, But regardless, I like the fact that he's comes from the old school. Like, I have no desire to fight these kids. These kids that want to.
I like the fact that he's in a position now
Mm-hmm.
that he's comfortable enough with where he's at. He has money, but he also realizes money's not the end all. And hey, I'm not going to just do something just to do it for the money. I have to have a reason for wanting to do it. I have to have a purpose in doing it. And I don't have that anymore. And so good for you, Mike.
Yeah.
We were just in an argument, 2 days ago, people asking us about, who's the most, recognizable person, and it really came down between, nowadays, was it, sports wise, Mike Tyson or Michael Jordan, both guys that are retired guys.
Yeah.
But this guy everyone knows who Mike Tyson is just about.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. Like, if you're going to say, like, if I see these two guys walking down the street, I'm going to see Jordan first, only because he's 6'6".
He's taller.
Yeah, or whatever, however tall he is. I think he's 6'6". Anyways,
Yeah, he's 6'6".
but you're going to see him first.
Yeah.
But if you look a little bit to the right or the left, oh, shit, that's fucking Mike Tyson. Like, you really splitting hairs when you're talking about who's the most recognizable. But like in a crowd, you're going to pick out the taller guy because he stands out more. That's really what it comes down to. That's why basketball players are so popular, because you can see them fucking all the way across the room in a nightclub. You can't see us short guys, 5'6" guys. Shit, what are you going to do? So it's, I mean, but then you start going through the list of other fighters, or not just fighters, but other athletes. Who's the most recognizable athletes in the world right now? I mean, I'd probably say maybe Tom Brady, but then we're talking about worldwide.
I
would say
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I would say, what's the other one? Neymar.
Messi.
And Messi. Those three are the top three guys. What's his name? Mbappe, I think is his name. But he's, but see, I couldn't pick him out in a crowd. But I mean,
but
I
you
know.
could definitely pick out Tyson Fury.
6'9". Yeah, you could. He's 6'9". It's insane. But I think Tyson is definitely up there in the top 2 or 3 in terms of recognizable worldwide. We're talking worldwide, guys, not just the U.S. Yeah, because Tom Brady's more like they very rarely have football in the U.K. once a year or twice a year.
Real football, just for clarification.
You don't even know what the fuck soccer is. This guy, man. You've watched WWE and Royal Rumble. He's tweeting and texting all night long about how Ronda Rousey's back and da-da-da-da. John and I are just shaking our heads going, damn, what is going on? How did we hire such a guy? I swear. It's like mentality of a fucking 4-year-old. I love it, though.
It's because I walked in the room and
I do love that you like. I do love it though that you like it though. I actually I kind of think it's
because it gives me something to just tease you to no end about.
No, I used
How does
to
a
like
grown
it
man
when I was a kid,
get
John.
that into it. That you were a kid.
I know, but I didn't. I see when I hit like 16, 17 and The Rock was around, I never got into it. And I heard that was like the golden hours of it. It was like I loved staying up until midnight to watch, Hulk Hogan, King Kong Bundy, the Junkyard Dog. I mean, Sugar Thighs, Snuka. Like, come on, man.
Jimmy
those are like
Superfly.
Yes, I mean, like you just.
And if you want to,
I don't know. Those were my.
If you want to
days.
wage on which heavyweight fight this weekend
Big
was
John
bigger,
Stud.
I mean, I'd be happy to throw down a 20. And
No, come on. But he's talking about the WWE. Which heavyweight fight was bigger? But in all fairness, the Royal Rumble or whatever it was, the heavyweight fight between Brock and Bobby, which both of them are huge. That fight, that whole thing was bigger than anything that was done in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
No,
Because that's how many kids are in the world.
Exactly. Here's the problem with it. Both of those guys have actually fought for real. Both of those guys could actually step into a cage and fight. And that would be kind of interesting.
I'd like to see them fight.
But the fact that someone else, a la a Vince McMahon, can sit there and say, Bobby, you're going to win, and we're going to have you win by other people jumping in and helping you. But the referee is a fucking moron. So he's going to sit there and give the 3 count, and you're going to be champion of the WWE. Who gives a fuck?
I
It's
love this.
stupid.
But I think to myself, like, insane how they script this stuff, Dave.
Oh, ridiculous.
I'm just like, man, this is insane. Like, who thinks this shit up, and how they get it all to mesh and work well together on live TV is absolutely remarkable.
Well,
absolutely remarkable. When I used to go,
I was going to say, if Connor can do it in real time,
Are we talking about this crap more?
if Connor can do it in real time, you got to imagine how easy it is to plan it ahead of time.
oh,
Connor
jeez.
can do it
Not
on the
even
spot.
in the spot. What
He
on the
can
spot?
promote and book a story the way Vince does, but Connor does it off the cuff. I mean, you look at all his press conferences, some of the most memorable moments in the sports history.
Yeah, but at least you know he's going to be fighting for real, and the other guy has a chance, an ability to punch him in the face and make him, eat his words. Where with this crap, everything they do is scripted.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Oh, he's gonna jump off the turnbuckle at this time. Okay, then I'm gonna swing you around after that, and
It's
we're gonna
actually
do
not
this.
that- not that cool.
That's what it takes away.
It's not.
No,
it's
it
not
is.
that. Not
It
to
is,
that
Dave.
degree though. There's a lot of like.
It's heavily.
Yeah, it's heavily because when I watched the documentary on Hulk Hogan, I think it was a big and Andre the Giant. It was scripted to the very
thing.
tease. Like, no, we talked about take 2 steps here.
No.
Okay, elbow me here. Yes.
Oh
watch
no,
the
they
documentary
do.
on it.
Depends.
They-
Depends
they-
on
yeah.
depends on the match.
They plan the
big
spots,
ones.
but they don't plan like 2 steps here.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, that was the big
No,
spot.
that's
because remember
because
the big
they're
slam.
talking through it during the match.
Yeah, exactly.
That's yeah, exactly. It's dumb.
They scripted beforehand, though. All right. Well, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel, but also go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. We're going to have to maybe change this up a little bit, I think. We'll start looking. If any of you guys can suggest some sites for us to start taking our clothes to a different level, because I want to try to get more than just T-shirts. I want some hoodies, some hats. And start getting this into a different program. I think they can offer more because I think we've had a lot of people reaching out to us. People like John and I think we're both more recognizable now for the podcast than we were ever in our careers.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny because we can't go anywhere. Man, the podcast is so great. We love it. I'm like, man, we just got to get rid of podcast, Dave.
I'm the reason you're as popular as you are, Josh.
Nothing would
there
ever,
it is.
Nothing would ever work around here because John and I don't even know how to use a damn camera.
Oh my God.
We can't even update our software on our laptops. It's like, all right. Well, hey, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Use that promo code and pick up one of our new Beast Mode shirts. We got it in black. We got it in heather gray, I think is what it is. But it's a really cool design done by John Wayshek, who is a fantastic artist, but it's a phenomenal shirt. Also, we got all the other ones, Karate Kid, Terminator, Home Improvement, all of these things. So great stuff with our original logo on there as well. That's like one of my favorite shirts, though, the original logo. I like that. It's simple. Very simple. Go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button there. Go to our Weighing In Extras channel, hit the subscribe button there as well. We want to thank you guys. We do a show there called Weighing Interjection. It's caught a little bit of steam lately, and it's picking up, and that channel is starting to take off as well. We want to thank you guys for following us and being loyal to us. And John, after this long weekend of fucking flights, I'm just done. I'm like,
For everyone out there, man, sorry that this is late, but it's because Josh and I couldn't get home. That was really what it was. It took us a long time, and we finally got here. That's why we put this on for you guys, so you have this information, because we love talking to you. Thank you for everyone that comes up to us and tells us they enjoy the podcast. Go out there, do something special for someone, pay it forward, and we will see you.